Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Page number 272 and 273. When you look at the mirror, you see some images of those things that are in front of the mirror. When you keep some mirror facing each other at slightly varying angles, what do you see? The image seen is an endless number of reflections of your own face. All the thousands of faces is of one person only. The root cause of all them is one, who is looking at all of them. The looking one is the basis of all those images being seen. That partitionless one is seen as a part in you. This is a small bulb and that is a big one. That is the blue one and this is a green one. Many shapes and many colors may be there, but the electricity in all of them is one. That power which is there everywhere as electricity is here lighting the bulb, running that fan or a machine. That power is unitary and indivisible, becomes partition when in the circuit of one instrument. When it is raining, you see the lightning in flashes. It is revealing itself. Thus cause that power within yourself to flash to your awareness through all the suggested process of self-refinement and ennoblement. Starting from the karma anushtana, yajnas, devata upasanas, and meditation on the Mahavakyas are all aids in the process. All the rules and regulations of attitudinal and behavioral morality are meant for the self-improvement without hurting others, without stepping on each other's toes. All that has been said in the Vedas for family and social responsibilities as an individual, as a member of a group of people, as a part of a government, and so on. Poetry, medicine, geography, astronomy, virtually everything in the Vedas are meant for taking you, me, and everybody systematically, step by step, towards that end state when it becomes clear in our minds that is that. On the way, it flashes of fraction seconds, it will be revealed to us that Tat and Tvam are one and the same. As it says in Kenopanishad, practice makes you perfect. So the practice must continue till the Anubhava becomes continuous like the Taila Dhara, instead of being only in flashes. At that stage, one could not care less as to whether one is alive in this body or not, that is, whether it is Jivan Mukti or Videha Mukti. What was experienced in flashes of fractions of seconds, like the lightning in the rainy season, becomes a continuous Anubhava, like the flow of oil, when you see all the scenarios of this world as expressions of the divinity. When such is the experience, you will agree with me that it is irrelevant. Whatever happens while alive or after dropping the body, since your being is not dependent on bodiliness. So it is stated at the end of the previous paragraph that it is not important whether it is Jivan Mukti or Videha Mukti. For a jnani, both are the same. Thus, to make us realize it experience that it is all the self-same Brahma and causes to be established in moksham is the primordial purpose of all the Vedas. Now you have newspapers. All the TV channels report the news. There are more and more news channels coming into being every day. Internet service providers have also taken to the news reporting. Think of the number of reporters, news agencies, letters, telegrams, teleprinters, fax machines, satellites, scanners, cell phones, iPads and cameras, emails and Gmails and so on, involved in reporting all this news. How about the news not understandable, decipherable, by any of the instruments or machines. Don't we need a media for information from where there will be no means for reporting, which can only be gathered by the perception beyond the senses, mind and intellect? That media is Vedam, as reported by the rishis, with such capabilities, not normally cognized, and generally beyond the normal run of things. Though there are many such materials in the Vedas of tremendous relevance and importance, there are some details which may be discarded at times. When I say that there are some material which may be discarded, I do not mean that there is anything in Vedas that should be discarded or wrong or irrelevant. It is anathema to think on such lines. However, when there are some arguments presented in favor or against some points of view, one should take the gist of the main hypothesis, as he would take the kernel and leave the chaff. It has been so arranged by our ancestors themselves. Initially, we may learn to count on our fingers. Once we have learnt using a abacus, say we may not use the fingers anymore. At the primary or intermediate level, what is important may not be so when you graduate to the successive higher levels, but it may still be useful to some other aspirants coming up the ladder. There are many such things in the Vedas which elevate the Jivan gradually, which may be acceptable at one level but ignored at further higher levels. Instead, there are some which should be accepted at all times completely. These are known as vidhi. Those things acceptable at one level, then discarded at the further higher levels, are arthavadam or anuvadam. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Rama 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 Rama